Roll call, please.
Mr. Carlo?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Condit?
Here.
Mr. Molina?
Here.
Mr. Silverston?
Here.
Mr. Walter?
I'm here. Approval of meeting minutes for April 28, 2015.
So moved.
Second. Roll call on approval of minutes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina?
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. Carlo?
Yes. Any amendments to the agenda? No amendments. We'll go into reports. The mayor will not be here this evening. I did want to make mention of one thing in talking with some people at Drug Mart. Their corporate offices are looking into taking over the vacant building where the vitamin store was to expand. Right now they're looking at expanding their grocery department in anticipation of the apartments going in. So that's pretty exciting for them and for us that they're going to accommodate our new residents and that they see the potential with that. Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you. Mr. Esser and I have a meeting tomorrow night right here at 6:30 to discuss the street dedication issue in Windjammer. So if anybody wants to come, they are invited. Last I heard, somebody, one of the residents had done a walk around and gotten, the last I heard was 17, but tonight I heard 20 signatures.
20 out of 22.
Or 20 out of 22. Was it 2 that did not sign? Were they to foreclose upon homes?
Yeah.
So we've got everybody but the foreclosures.
Does anyone know what they signed? I mean, it wasn't a blank piece of paper or something.
No, they all got the letters. They would
Okay.
call up here and ask. We never,
Okay.
yeah, they were very.
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
What time is it? 6:30.
6:30 tomorrow night.
Thank you. Mr. Esser?
Hey, real quick, sorry, cut you off, Gene. Do you mind and I've gotten a number of people ask about having trouble hearing on the video. Do you mind if, and I got the mic working, do you mind if you don't have to stand by it, do you mind? No.
If you can.
But it works, and if you don't mind using it. Well, now maybe you will. Thanks, Gene. Sorry, man. Yeah, don't drop the mic.
Council report, as Mr. Carpenter said, Windjammer Trail Co. we have a meeting tomorrow.
I don't think that's helping.
The crossings, we met with the HOA, we've heard no response since our meeting. California Street, we did get the scoring, we scored 61, the cutoff was 62. Obviously, if a few of the projects do not come through, we might get funded. We are very close to, there's a couple projects in front of us, but we're just a couple points off. Now this trail phase 2, submitting application June 30th. The 319 grant, we have our Livonia office at OHM putting together the plans for a July bid and construction in the fall. Again, Nautilus is under design now. We're completing the survey and plans will be done by the 15th for our submittal. The storm outlet, as you see attached there, I gave a little sketch. We're getting 3 proposals to build a storm outlet over to Pond Brook. The ditch that runs down is silted over. The permission to clean that out, the cost would be exorbitant. So we see if there was an option. We think the option is to extend the storm sewer over to Pond Brook, which is going to run, and there will be no silting of it, whereas on the ditch, it will silt right in after, a few years. So we're getting 3 proposals on that, to construct that. Construction, obviously, Regatta, water line is completed. They are now in the process of testing it, and once it's approved, they will put in the service connections. Windjammer has been staked and they're preparing to start construction on that. Harrington 7, roadway was being constructed today. They have a couple box outs they got to pour, but they'll be done in the next week. Senior apartments under construction, Nautilus Bridge, as when we found the deficiency last year, we can't talk to the contractor, which was ECS. The general contractor for the entire project was Geotech. They came up with a design, but it was $100,000. They said they'd go out of business if they had to afford that. Could we give them a little bit more time? spoke to the law director about it. We both agreed that we'll give them a little more time, but they should put a bond up to cover the repairs, to bring the project up to standard. Have not heard anything, spoke to the contract, ECS, they said it's in the bonding company's hands, we have not heard from them. So Mr. Carper will have to decide what's the next step. Liberty Ledges Phase 4, we're just waiting on final drawings now. Harrington 7 will be at a meeting tomorrow, on Thursday, at Planning Commission meeting for the final there. ARB, next week is May 23rd, Planning Commission, again is Harrington 8, Liberty Ledges Phase 5, and the Senior Housing and Lighting Feature approval. And BZA is on June 8th. That's it, thank you.
You can keep it. Harrington today, very eventful. Have you heard about anything that occurred today in Harrington as far as?
They, on the tree lawn, 2 tree lawns, put plastic down and dumped the remnant, and they were cleaning it up. I was out there just an hour ago, they were picking up the bags. So everything was contained, and if there is any damage to the tree lawn, we'll make sure they're cleaned up.
Is there any reason why homeowners aren't told? Some people were wondering what the heck these things were, and they were gonna move them, because just crap just appeared in their yards this morning. Is there a reason why they're at least not informed? They might not like it, but at least they're told that, hey, we're gonna be doing this, blah, 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 blah.
Well, we will talk to the contractor, but basically, there is no other road on the other end. They had to come in that way. They needed to have a wash area for the concrete, and that was the only area it is in the public right-of-way for them to do it. Obviously, I heard about it when I came out here, I went out and looked at them, but we will have a conversation that in the future, you know, that is just something that.
Just a courtesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, I don't disagree. I'm just saying, it was something that I just heard about when I showed up today. We will make sure in the future, in any subdivision, that people are notified if something like that.
Because I know if that would have been my yard, and I didn't know what that was, it would have been in my trash.
You wouldn't be able to move it.
No, before, this is when they just set them there early this morning before they, no, I know, obviously, it's filled with concrete. I know.
The recycling bins, you could have put it in the recycling bin.
Especially how much trash floats around in that place, because that's the first thing I asked this lady, I'm like, was it because of the wind, did something blow it, because I didn't know what it was either, but.
So Gene, is, obviously there's been quite a bit of construction along Liberty for the path, how's that, any update on that?
No, they did, ongoing there, right now they're just in the clearing phase of it. And, you know, we did receive permission to relocate our sign outside the right of way there. We took it down now, but in the future we'll come back and relocate it on, behind the walk. So, they're just ongoing right now, the clearing. They did get all the trees down before the April 15th, so there's no bad trees that'll help hold us up. So.
Thank you, Jim. And on the service department, if anyone has noticed, the new brackets are up on the telephone poles along on Glenwood in anticipation of awesome baskets coming. Rec Center,
I understand that we still have not heard from Chicago in regards to the bonding, but all the signs are good. They've done some follow-up questioning, and it appears as though they were quite satisfied with the presentation that was made by the mayor. Also, the contracts right now are being reviewed between the builders and the various parties that are involved with the building project at the fitness center. I understand, according to Deborah, that the architect and the builder right now are communicating with each other and getting some of the details ironed out with that. So I think we're going to know a lot more in the next week or two.
thank you, Walt. Deborah?
I have nothing to report other than, I believe it's ordinance 18, is that the transfer request?
16.
16, does not need to go by emergency. The payment is due early June, so we
wanna say anything about this?
I sure can. About 2 months ago, the HCC sent a risk assessor in and met with each of the departments and with Mario and myself, and came back with some recommendations, some formal recommendations that we received in writing. Several involved the service department, and those have been disseminated to Sam Scafidi. I think that he's asking for Mr. Carpenter's assistance on a couple of them. If he hasn't contacted you yet, we will be. One is sidewalk maintenance program, and one is a playground maintenance program. There were two for the fire department, and they're working on that. One is to train the different departments in how to use a fire extinguisher, and knowing where those are and having them available, and also an evacuation plan posted in this building, and maybe all the buildings, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I believe that's it.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
Police chief, no report. Fire chief, assistant fire chief.
Nothing further than what was given you in advance.
You all should have your monthly call sheets in your mailbox.
El Chili Bravo was given a conditional occupancy permit.
Were they looking at the 25th for opening? Do you
I don't
know?
know.
I heard the
18th?
What is the name of it?
El Chili Bravo.
Thank you, sir. Architectural board of review,
No report.
planning and zoning. We have a meeting Thursday morning, 9 o'clock. Board of Zoning Appeals, no appeals. Finance,
Finance,
He says no.
earlier today, recommended payments in the amount of $145,536.37. Deborah discussed, basically the letter that she just went over, and that was it, pretty uneventful.
thank you, Tom. Cable,
I have no report.
communications.
Communications Committee met last night. We discussed the mayor interview and how to improve that. We talked a little bit about the app. It sounds like Sam and Terry are still in discussions with C-Click Fix, which is a company that's an app developer for our app that we might look to move to. And then lastly, we're trying to put together a kind of what we would call a pulse survey to probably put on the website, send out via Facebook, things like that, to kind of check the pulse of the community, what they like, what they don't like, things like that. So hope to get that accomplished in the next month. That is it.
Thank you, Mark. Long-term community development. On tonight's agenda, we have resolution 34. If you all feel up to it, I'd really like that to go by emergency tonight, so that you'll be able to attend the next meeting. Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec will be meeting next Wednesday, the 20th, and we'll be tying up the loose ends for the Family Fun Day in June. And we'll be getting in touch with the chiefs or assistant chiefs to pretty much do the same thing we did last year.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Records.
No report.
Seniors.
Seniors had lunch today at Hudson's Restaurant on the Green, that's correct, and there was 12 in attendance. And the next breakfast will be May 27th at Joe's Family Restaurant in
We will be
Sagamore
at the
Hills.
Dolphin because Joe's has gone out of business.
Well, we will not be going to Joe's in Sagamore.
Strike that.
We having any breakfast at all?
It will be at the Dolphin
At the Dolphin, I stand
over
corrected.
toward Oakwood on Broadway.
Have you been there yet?
No.
It's
Is it
very
really
nice
Yeah, I've been
inside.
there.
Big improvement. It's really nice, and the food's really good. And Jed?
Jed's next meeting is first Tuesday of June, 7 o'clock at the Twinsburg Township Hall. That was it.
legislation, on resolution 18/2015, a resolution to award the 2015 annual HVAC preventive maintenance contract to DeMarco and Associates LLC and declaring an emergency. Third reading, we had tabled that at third reading. Mr. Scafidi has gotten the information. He obtained a bid from Jackson Comfort Systems in, I believe they're Macedonia. But DeMarco's still the lowest bid, so I would ask that this would come off being tabled and go ahead and go to third reading this evening.
The question I have with that,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't in Sam's letter, is, I don't think the question was them being the low bidder, the question was all the add-ons were always super high. And that was not part of their bid that I saw.
But
And I
that's,
thought that's kind of what we wanted to know, is all those, not their base bid, but all their extras compared to everybody else.
We got a lot of separate charges
yeah, and
outside of the maintenance.
I have to think how Sam explained that to me. That isn't something they can bid out because everything that either breaks or something happens it's just different pricing. There isn't any way to say, okay, if a valve on this goes, this is how much it's gonna cost.
Or something else that breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
isn't
in
that what
addition
maintenance
to
agreement
what the preventive
kinda is all about?
maintenance is.
Oh,
I'm
it's
sorry,
just I'm sorry, okay.
yeah,
It's just preventative.
this contract is for preventative maintenance.
And that's what the other bid was for, just preventative.
Correct.
Okay.
There's several.
So we'd have the same problem now, essentially, right?
Yeah, because there's
This other
no,
company
you
would
can't
charge us for-
pinpoint the
Same problem.
the pricing on every possible thing that could possibly go wrong.
Right, no, you just get an hourly rate basically. with all
Yeah,
of it.
and then it's the parts, and you're at the mercy, I mean, they can tell you today the part's gonna cost $20, yesterday it was 15, tomorrow it's 10. You just-
One of the ways to handle something like that is this, is to enter an agreement where the parts are at cost, at invoice. Because we pay within 30 days anyway. And, give them a higher percentage on labor, let them jack their labor costs slightly. And that way, we've got more of a handle on it. And labor is, if we're getting hammered on the parts, then we simply have to drive that cost down. Because some of these guys will inflate a part by 200%.
I have a question.
Right.
If something does break, is there anything in that contract that says you have to have DeMarco make the repair? Could you not get two or
No,
three
there's-
bids on, okay.
You-
So this is just.
So if we
for
have a major problem, we don't have to rely on DeMarco to
Right,
make
but
that repair.
I will say that we have had it where we call in another company and they say, we didn't do that, we won't touch it. And then the first company will say, if you have someone else touch what we have already worked on, we will not touch it again because they don't want this person messing up their work and it goes back and forth, so.
It's avoiding preventive maintenance contracts.
Right,
It's
that's
just
for
cycle.
me,
Yeah, right?
yeah. Come out twice a year, if something does break, I get 10% on parts on priority call, which are some of the things that preventive maintenance contract gives you.
Right.
You know, you become that priority customer, because you're already paying up front for a service.
Why are we gonna take this off the table tonight and approve it or not?
Well, I think you
Well, we
should just
definitely
take it off the table, but.
Whether it
whether
gets
you're gonna-
approved, right,
Exactly.
right, we'll vote on it,
Okay, then I'll make a motion to.
well.
Oh, you
We'll do
can't
that
do
on
that.
council meeting. Okay, ordinance 16/2015, an ordinance to transfer $14,400 from the general fund, $1,000 to the street dedication fund 3301, declaring an emergency. First reading. Resolution 28/2015, a resolution to accept the bid of Kimball Companies for refuse removal service commencing January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2020, third reading. I would like to postpone that resolution till the next meeting. Don had gotten back to me with the specifics on the exceptions for the refuse, and Stacy and I are both really confused as to what he's saying. It really didn't clarify any of the questions I asked him. So I will give him a second shot at that. So, yeah, if we can just postpone that for one meeting.
Can we postpone it for 2 meetings? I really would like to vote on it, and I won't be here next meeting.
Yeah, we can do that.
That, we'll take it to July.
That'll still give him plenty of time to get the toad sold.
No, it's June. That'd be the
First meeting in June.
That'd be the first meeting in June.
Resolution 31, 2015, a resolution accepting the resignation of Nick Shurko from the Village of Reminderville Fire Department effective June 1st, 2015, first reading. Resolution 32, 2015, a resolution appointing Benny Jones Jr. to the position of Fire Lieutenant and declaring an emergency, first reading. Resolution 33, 2015, a resolution authorizing a $2,000 donation to the City of Twinsburg Recreation Department for the Rock the Park event and declaring an emergency, first reading. Resolution 34, 2015, a resolution appointing Scott Ailman to the Long-Term Community Development Committee, first reading. And that one, I would like to go by emergency tonight. The one for Benny Jones, does that need to go by emergency?
It would be nice, yeah,
Okay.
to have it completed before Nick
Yeah, he
leaves.
wants to have it by June 1st.
Yeah, so essentially it could be the next meeting, but
Okay, and then, let's see, so we can wait on Nick's legislation, we can do that at second reading, Paul?
You can,
Yes.
Okay.
unofficially, you can just deny that and make him stay.
Right.
You can sweat it out a little bit, yeah. That'd be my vote.
Old business.
Coworkers, huh?
Is there any old business? New business?
Move to adjourn.
second.
Roll call on adjournment?
Mr. Condit?
Yes.
Mr. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. Carlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Let's go right, no one objects, we'll go right into the next